What up, Space Fam? Goes in here from Anime Uproar, back at it again to discuss the latest and craziest developments in the One Punch Man story. We get to see King's true power in full display, a new strongest monster emerges, even stronger than Golden S, and more, so make sure to stay tuned for this one. If you do enjoy these One Punch Man chapter reviews, then channel the Cape Baldy Within and serious punch that like button with no mercy. Remember that smashing that like button is Saitama energy while passing is pure ugly energy, so choose wisely. If you haven't, make this the video you subscribe and hit that notification bell to get your regular dose of One Punch Man content. And lastly, while you wait for the next chapter to drop, feel free to check out my One Punch Man playlist that includes videos on all the S-Class heroes, all Dragon and God level monsters, and much more. Link to that is in the description. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. On the cover page, we got what looks like Psychos looking very fine, and the narrator says, "That woman gets more beautiful clad in evil." And yeah, I can't argue that she's looking gorgeous here. Yet another example of Muneta's talent for illustration and why the manga is worth reading even if you're caught up with the original webcomic. Back to King though, and the King engine. King stepped in and now we get to see the consequences of him doing so. We're told that the King engine usually is a symbol of terror that signifies certain death to monsters, but the dragon level monsters of the Monster Association have absolute faith in the power they possess. It was merely a shot of adrenaline that they felt to set their fighting spirits ablaze. As we'll see, this narration is sacrificing accuracy for humor, but it's part of what makes One Punch Man so fun. There's always this epic setup before hilarious things ensue. Of course, King is just worried in his head about dying all this time, but from the outside, the dragon level monsters keep misunderstanding him. And by the way, it's interesting that they're called dragon level here. Black S was already dragon level, and here it's implying that Golden S is dragon level too, even though he is way stronger. So they really seem to be stretching dragon level here to encompass a very large variety of power. I always like focusing on this stuff because it can be pretty arbitrary, so it's important to know how the manga is presenting it. As I said before, the exact definition of god level threat is a threat to the survival of humanity. And if you don't count Saitama and exceptional heroes like Blast and Atomic Samurai with the Sunblade, then someone like Golden S could definitely be a huge threat. But if you count Saitama as part of humanity, then we won't actually ever have an official god level threat because no one can beat him. So it's interesting to think about how classifications can and should work in One Punch Man. Golden S says King is waiting for them to make the first move. They wonder how King even fights, but Homeless Emperor hilariously answers that he has no idea. Out of all the heroes, King is the only one with an abnormal lack of battle data. We know this is because he doesn't actually do the battling, but they assume it's because he's so next level. Homeless Emperor says he's very good at manipulating information. He seems to be touted as the strongest man for a reason. The wild stories about King circulate among them, like that hostages are useless because King can make monsters lose consciousness without even touching them. Homeless Emperor decides to test out King's power, and he is confident enough at first. He fires up a huge attack and King's stoic face remains impenetrable as his mind is exploding in worry. When told he'd be vaporized if touched by the giant energy sphere, he simply says okay, seemingly channeling the greatness of Saitama here in that response. Just as Homeless Emperor is going to attack and win it, King interrupts him saying, "Wait, haven't you noticed yet?" King then tells him to look under his feet. Shocked, Homeless Emperor looks down and doesn't know what he's looking at. It's clear though that he's begun to lose his confident edge. He's sweating now and easily surprised. King goes on to say, confident on the outside, "All those little chunks of rubble are pretty unstable. It's dangerous. It looked like you hadn't noticed, so I figured I should tell you," end quote. What is actually random and desperate talk comes across as the ultimate mind game. He appears to be flexing hard on his opponent, even going out of his way to worry about him when he's trying to kill King. Homeless Emperor hilariously convinces himself that he has to read between the lines. Now he's breaking out in sweats and thinking that King is actually warning him that he can dodge the light sphere and be on top of Homeless Emperor in an instant, and that there is no way he could escape while he's standing on that rock. As a result, he halts the attack and even considers himself lucky that he found out what was going on before it was too late. He is sure that if he attacked, King would have found an opening for sure and killed him. There's an excellent panel where Giant King looms over Homeless Emperor to give us a sense of how he's feeling. He proclaims he'll show everyone the real King today, and King starts worrying internally about whether he knows that King is just a regular human. He accidentally says just a regular human, and instead of giving himself away, Homeless Emperor is shocked. He interprets the words as saying that King knows his secret, that if you take away his life powers, then he is just on par with an average human. Now Homeless Emperor is worried that the Black S's and Golden S will find out, and then he'll be in trouble. Just as he's going to rush to finish King before he reveals any more, below his feet Zombieman emerges. He pins down Homeless Emperor and taunts him to try attacking him now. Because they're so close, Homeless Emperor will suffer the damage too. He's got him cornered now. And this is that King power. Insane levels of good luck when he needs it. Whether it's Saitama coming to aid him at the right time, people interpreting his actions and words in the most convenient way possible, or a hero like Zombieman emerging in the nick of time. He's able to get out of every battle looking like a beast while internally freaking out all the while. You don't see something like this as much in other shonen series, and when you do, it rarely lasts as long as it does for King, but it's a recurring thing in One Punch Man even against the strongest opponents, and I always find it hilarious. Unlike with Hercule in Dragon Ball, the strong villains actually think King is a beast rather than just random humans, and that fresh detail makes it that much more funny. When Homeless Emperor is begging for help, the Black S's ask why would they risk leaving themselves open to attacks in front of the King. They're ultra cautious, and even though they have over 50 trillion cells, they say it's not like they have unlimited cell stock, and to be fair, a lot of those cells are in Golden S right now. Then Evil Nature Water takes center stage for a second, and he's not moving. It's supposed to be a creature who responds to hostile emotions and attacks, but obviously King is too busy being afraid to have hostile emotions, so he's not setting it off. Of course, Black S assumes that in the blink of an eye, King saw through its ability and stopped his killing intent. In their view, King is able to hide his emotions completely from them, like he was facing an ant rather than a dragon level monster. Black S is freaking out but decides to stop him, while Child Emperor has a plan to push all the monsters in one place so that King can deal with them in one attack. King overhears this and continues to freak out himself, knowing he could do no such thing. We see a funny illustration then of what people think King is capable of. It's very telling, and it seems like a parody of the Super Saiyan form, as King is shown going Super Sparking King mode, SSK, and about to use his limited time Secret Killer move. It's pretty much a glorified Kamehameha and can annihilate all of these dragon level monsters from existence in one go. It goes to show that even the heroes have no idea what to expect from King and let their imaginations and the rumors run wild. Then something crazy happens, but it was a popular theory for a while, so it shouldn't be too surprising if you've been watching the chapter reviews. The remaining 11.449 trillion Black S's proceed to fuse with the 43 trillion in Golden S to form a fusion of about 54 trillion Black S's. It was like 10 trillion to form Golden S in the webcomic, and there was no form beyond that, so this is a huge deal right here in the manga. It's hilarious how much confidence Child Emperor has in King, and actually views this as a godsend since they will be easier to take out in one body. We are told that 100 cells did detach for insurance, but these aren't really a threat on their own. One goes on to face Metal Bat. He cries and we get some very webcomic inspired illustrations. He is crying for the 54 trillion of him losing their individual consciousness, and lets us know that once merged, there is no more separation. But the sacrifice of all these will lead to a precious and beautiful new life. There is sadness as so many disappear into nothingness, and happiness for the debut of the quote-unquote true me, as Black S puts it. In the meantime, King is being told to use the special move, and of course he's just standing there because he can't. Knowing this series though, they're probably interpreting this as him being curious to see someone that could approach even a fraction of his power. Metal Bat takes care of the crying Black S, or at least that's the implication, and we see a very cool and unique design for the new form of the S's, Platinum S. And that is the end of this epic and even more so hilarious chapter. After the Golden S arm was cut off, I did mention in the last review that he'd regrow it by absorbing more S's and possibly become Platinum S, and that is exactly what happened here. I love to see it, and it's just crazy power scaling wise. Golden S already seemed so above the other dragon monsters monsters present here, and now Platinum Mess will take it to a whole other level. Can't wait to see how they handle this. They may never call him god level officially since he isn't a threat to Saitama, but man, this is so much more than just Dragon. Can't wait to see his power in action and to see how King handles the situation. Is there finally a monster that won't be afraid of King, or like usual, will he start freaking out after overanalyzing King's behavior? Hopefully Saitama will make his appearance before too long. But yeah, that is it for this one. Let me know what you thought of it as usual and what you expect to happen in the next chapter. Who was your MVP this time around? I think King is the obvious choice. He stepped up knowing he could be killed at any moment, and it bought enough time for Zombieman to take down Homeless Emperor and force the S's to fuse into this new epic form. If you did enjoy this review and want to keep the reviews coming, then channel the K-Baldy within and serious punch that like button with no mercy. Remember that smashing that like button is Saitama energy while passing is Fuhrer ugly energy, so choose wisely. If you haven't, make this the video you subscribe and hit that notification bell to get your regular dose of One Punch Man content. And lastly, while you wait for the next chapter to drop, feel free to check out my One Punch Man playlist that includes videos on all S-Class heroes, all Dragon and God level monsters, and much more. Link to that is in the description. And I especially want to thank the patron squad over on Patreon and here on YouTube who help make videos like this one possible. First and foremost, I want to thank the patron of legend, the one acknowledged by Lord Twigo himself, Alpha Sigma, and other 1-tier patrons, the ones who sit on top all clans: Ingrata, Aljatal, Pate Hefa, the red-haired fox, Hinokami and Water, the Toasted Chi, Corey McGowan, The Spike, Dylan Isidore, Spidey Life Tanel, Tungsten Tarkus, Baked Buddhist, Monkey D. Quilly, Cody Hebert, and Jeremy Cummings. And our Pro Hero tier patrons, the one and only Gilgamesh, Steelers, Angel Cruz, Very Gucci, Alicia Actor, Bonnie Parks, Joanne Garcia, Fatboy Games, Kaido Might Be a Duck, Jessica Rabbit, and Jeremy Phillips. Thank you all so much. If you're also a fan who enjoys our work, you can directly support more of it by going over to patreon.com/animeuproar and becoming a patron today for as little as $1. If you do so, you'll get your name featured in future videos alongside these amazing people right here, and you'll even get access to our private patron-only Discord where we talk about anime life and of course the dank memes. So check out patreon.com/animeuproar, link in the description if you're interested. You can also join the YouTube channel by clicking that blue join button next to the subscribe button that you've hopefully already destroyed. So yeah, you can support more content that way if you prefer. Whichever way you choose to support us, you can get the same great benefits. Thanks again, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.